What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Panda here, and today we are talking about a Watcher of Realms. Guys, we have officially gotten the announcement in-game about the Alistair fusion, along with the information in regards to how many shards we're going to need, as well as more things involved with that. So I wanted to do a just quick overlook of what that's going to look like. So, first things first, guys. This is a pretty standard thing. I don't want to repeat myself a million times in every single video, but you have to have been playing the game for at least 3 days in order to participate in these events. So if you are wanting to start an account to specifically to guarantee yourself some crazy good thing, I don't know why you'd want to do that, but I know some people do that sometimes. Make sure you start it 3 days prior to the event starting in order for you to have access to all of these events. Here is the big announcement, guys. You need to obtain 200 shards during the event to summon Alistair. So instead of the normal 75 that you need 200, which is a pretty big leap in terms of shards. However, I don't think we're going to be super concerned about that because I have seen some other things, which we're going to show you shortly, that makes it seem like it's going to be relatively easy for you to be able to obtain. So don't worry too much about that, but keep in mind 200 shards is going to be needed. But you'll see here we have a ton of different rewards. I'm not going to read through all of this because we have it in a little bit of a better option, but you'll see tons of different things. And then down here we also have the Frostfall Jamboree, where you're going to be able to purchase some shards from there, or you just get them for doing certain purchases. We'll have to see what that looks like, but this is what I wanted to show you. I don't know why some people have it in game. I don't, for whatever reason. I'm not sure what exactly is going on with that, but this is the breakdown of all of these shards that are guaranteed if you complete the events, right? So you know, there are still going to be rewards for podiuming, for example, getting your first, second, or third places. And so if you happen to go ahead and get one of those top spots, you can skip some of these events or skip some of the higher ups. Like, for example, a lot of the times you're going to get some higher up shards in the summon events. So if you don't have a lot of summons, but you happen to podium in another location, you can maybe skip a summon event, etc. But yeah, so let's just get straight down to it. So we'll start with the events here, and you'll see that we've got 3 spiritual altars totaling 45 points. We have 1 corridor of glory totaling 15 points. That puts us to 60. We've got 3 brave conquests, which totals another 45 points, giving us 105. Then we have 30 points from 2 tales of the smith, which puts us up to 135. Then we have 2 Duel of Champions, which is another 30 points, putting us to 165. And that is the total for the events, right? So we have 165 for the events. Again, this is all completely free. You're going to guarantee yourself these just by participating in these events. Definitely make sure you pay attention to, how you're going to do these different events, right? You want to make sure you have gold saved up for your Tales of the Smith. You want to make sure, you've got energy stocked up for your Brave Conquests. You also want to, and I think this is something that's important, if you look down, you'll see that there's Forgotten Palace, Lost Legacy, Vault in the Sands, that all tie into each one of these Brave Conquests. So you want to make sure you don't start doing your Forgotten Palace until your Brave Conquest has started. This will allow you to double dip into those events so that you can go ahead and get certain things done in that event with less energy required. So if you are someone who has very little diamonds and very little energy stockpiled, then make sure you're smart about it. Wait until this event starts on Sunday to do your Forgotten Palace along with your Brave Conquest. And of course, don't worry if you don't finish Brave Conquest. Make sure you finish your Forgotten Palace, and then you can finish your Brave Conquest here with Lost Legacy and go into the next one, etc. Right? So something to keep in mind when you do that. Make sure you're doing that. Make sure you're saving your Tales of the Smith, your gold for the Tales of the Smith, okay? And make sure you're saving your food for the Corridor of Glory, and the Awakening of Heroes, etc. Right? So something to keep in mind, guys. Make sure You're being smart about that, okay? But let's go ahead and go into the Oracle's Trials. Now, remember, Oracle's Trials is where you're going to be able to have a chance to get some extra shards by getting first, second, or third spot. If I remember correctly, it does actually say in game it's 10, 7, and 5, and I believe that is for every event. 10, 7, 5, 10, 7, 5, 10, 7, 5, 10, 7, 5, etc. Right? So perfect. So keep that in mind. If you happen to get a first place spot, you can skip 10 shards from another event, which means if you wanted to, you could completely skip out on, say, for example, the second Awakening of Heroes, or you could skip out on some of the things from up here at the top. Whatever the case is, just make sure you're keeping everything in mind. Personally, I would say if you're gonna skip something at the end, because you don't want to skip something early on. Then when you get to the end, you're not able to get those shards and you miss out on 5 to 10 shards and you're not able to get Alistair. So definitely try to do as much as you can in the first several events. If you're going to skip out on anything, skip out at something at the end. Definitely something to keep in mind. But then we can go in and we'll total all these up. So we have 2 Arrival of Heroes, which totals 40 points. We've got 2 Awakening of Heroes, which totals 20, putting us up to 60. And then we have the 3 different events here for the various dungeon events, right? So Forgotten Palace, Lost Legacy, Vault in the Sands. That puts us up to 90 shards. So that means that we have 165 total from here, plus 90 down here, which puts us to 265? No, 255 total available currency, or sorry, shards for Alistair. But we also have, again, let's remember, we have the 20 available here from the Frostfall Jamboree, which means that we have access to a total of 275 shards. Now, this is something to keep in mind, okay? Let's say that you podium and you get first place in all of these. That's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, right? You will not have enough to get 2 copies of Alistair. So this is not going to be like the epic fusions that you can do previously with things such as Pyros, Lunaria, Isolde, etc. You will only be able to get 1 copy even if you podium. So keep that in mind. Don't overuse your resources. We don't know if there's going to be some shard stuff happening in the future that allows us to get more copies of Alistair. It's definitely unconfirmed if that's going to happen. But just keep this in mind because, you know, we will have all of these different things that pop up that will allow us to get the shards, and we don't want to go overboard if we don't have to. So highly recommend, if you're going to skip anything, you're probably best skipping out on some of the summoning events, for example, because, you know, summons are more difficult to get. However, gear, you always want to farm gear, so definitely don't skip out on the gear events. The Duel of Champions are literally free shards. Just make sure you do your PvP battles. Remember, even losing gives you points. So even if you're in a state where you can't win anything, that's fine. Do your battles. Don't let your arena entries stockpile, right? You want to use them all. You want to continue to generate them as often as possible. So definitely don't let them stockpile. All right, guys, that's going to be it for me today. I really hope you'd enjoy this one. I just wanted to go over real quickly kind of what this looks like, so you can have a base idea of what you're going for. I wish you all the greatest luck in the event starting here very soon for you to be able to pick up the first legendary fusion in Watcher of Realms. If you liked this video, please go ahead and hit that thumbs up button and leave a comment down below with, are you excited? I'm excited, right? I am very excited for our first ever legendary fusion. I think he looks very, very good. And hopefully he performs well as well. You know, again, my account is not very high up there on mages. We've gotten a little luckier recently, right, with things such as Vierna added to the account, but we are still lacking some quality mages. So I'm excited to see Alistair join the account. Hopefully you guys are too. Please don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you can see more content from me in the future, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.